Mr. R wanted us to learn I, Hannah Blakely,
And I'm Margery Price.
from 6th period chemistry, have learned to an A level of the following concepts from the first 11 chapters of our chemistry book. This is not an exclusive list, but my selection of concepts from each chapter that I will remember. From Chapter 1, Intro to Chemistry, I learned that matter is anything that has mass and occupies space, and how chemistry has made a huge impact on material, energy, medicine, agriculture, the environment, and along with the universe.
I learned in Chapter 1 that chemistry, like Hannah said, has a really big effect on every part of our world.
And then Chapter 3, the scientific measurement, I learned about the scientific notation, which is a given number that is written as the product of the two numbers.
In Chapter 2, I'll remember the differences between a homogeneous mixture and a heterogeneous mixture.
Chapter 5, electrons and atoms, the new thing I learned in this chapter was that light is measured by amplitudes, wavelengths, frequencies, and hertz.
And in Chapter 5, I'll remember the awesome electron configurations of the f and d orbitals.
Chapter 6, the periodic table, I was able to learn the length and catchy periodic table song along with how the periodic table is organized, which is by elements from increasing atomic numbers.
In Chapter 6, I learned about Dmitri Mendeleev, who created the first periodic table.
Then in Chapter 7, I learned that ionic compounds can conduct an electrical current when melted or dissolved in water.
Chapter 7 taught me the awesome crystals that ionic bonds can make.
Chapter 8 of covalent bonding, from this chapter, I learned the difference between molecular and bonding orbitals, which molecular applies to the entire molecule, while the bonding can be occupied by two electrons of a covalent bond.
Chapter 8 taught me how covalent bonding occurs to meet the electron configurations of the noble gases.
Chapter 9, chemical names and formulas, I learned that cations lose valence electrons, while anions are nonmetals that tend to gain electrons, so the charge of that ion becomes negative.
From Chapter 9, I learned the differences and the usefulness of prefixes and suffixes in names of formulas and compounds.
Chapter 10, chemical quantities, I learned the three ways to measure matter, which is by count, mass, and by volume.
In Chapter 10, I learned the importance and relevance of Avogadro's number 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd power.
Chapter 11, chemical reactions, I learned that there are 5 general types of reaction, which are combination, decombustion, single replacement, double replacement, and combustion.
I learned in Chapter 11 that it's not the elements or compounds in a chemical reaction that are important, it's also the catalysts.
And that is all that we learned from all those chapters.
Yay!